Hello! So I'm making a tutorial for someone on Twitter who didn't understand or hasn't quite grasped how to do clipping masks and like all that sort of stuff. This is the screenshot that they were trying to do a redraw of, and they couldn't quite grasp how to do the scribbly lines on the spikes. So I'm going to try my best to explain it in a more concise way than other tutorials have done. So how you start is, what you would have would be like, I don't know, this is an ice spike, say, use fill here. Okay, so what it was probably some sort of shine layer. I know you use Fire Alpaca, but these things work for anything. So what you would have is a layer above, and I shall draw it here like blah blah blah, squiggly lines. Oh, let's turn off stability. Squiggly lines, cross hatching out the wazoo. This is how you do that sort of like technique. Computer, stop. So this is what you would do. This is what probably the people on the show did to make that texture. Now what a clipping mask does, or as it says on the side 2, clipping group, it essentially takes whatever is underneath the layer you have done a scribbly on. And so if you've got your icicle here, then you can have this above it, and you click on clipping group, and this only shows what is underneath it. So if I could find something that I've done before, so that was the basic sort of thing. This is a drawing that I did, and if we turn off all this, this is just the sketch. So it's the background, it's the mountaintop, and that's Brielle. Okay, right, if I turn off all the colour. So this is how I colour everything. So I have my colour flat, and this essentially, oh my god, so many luminosity lines. So this is what it would look like. I would have gone in, well I did go in, hand colour in each part of it. What? Alright, okay. And then instead of okay, here is a good thing. Right, so as you can see here, my shading is all the way out of the lines, everywhere out, and all I did was erase tiny bits that made sense as highlights. So when I clicked on clipping group, this then masked away everything around the main flat colours layer. So then that meant that I didn't have all of this rough stuff around the edges. It essentially erases it without having lost any information. So it's quite a good way if you are photo editing or shading like I do, or anything really. It's a good way to make sure that you don't lose any information that you had. So rather than erasing all this, taking hours, you just need that one layer, and then you can have clipping masks all over it, and it makes it all nice and neat. This is how I can shade really quite messily, and it still looks pretty decent. What's this? What even is this? Hello? What's this? Oh, it's her foot. Ew, it's a weird foot. Okay, right. So I really hope that cleared stuff up. This is the use of clipping masks. It works incredibly well. Let's not zoom in onto that background, that looks terrible. It's a way to make your workflow a lot more efficient, rather than having to go around cleaning up all the background colours and stuff like that. You can just, going back to this, having a new clipping group, Let's make it screen. We just, hang on, let's actually make this. Okay, so we make this like ish. Okay, you. What else is really useful is locking layers. So I'm pretty sure in Fire Alpaca you have alpha lock. This is essentially the same as this little button. It's a little lock and key. You have this means it's essentially the same as a clipping mask, but it's only on that one layer, so you're drawing over everything. Now clipping masks are actually a lot better, I think, if you want to edit things and don't want to like ruin your progress so far. But with this, so how they probably did this was on the actual icicle one itself, they probably had they did all the shading and this sort of stuff. So they did this. Said I was going to be more concise. That was a lie. And I'm assuming just blurred it because nobody has time to do anything else. Can't painterly style anything. Okay, so that's essentially a round object with a shiny thing here. Right, okay, and then they added, ooh, that would be shade and shine. I think. Yes, so it looks like it wraps around. Now they probably use blending modes to change how it looked, like this. So using a light single color, it's more artistic, their one. I'm not sure how they did it so nicely. Like it looks good, whereas this just looks like a bunch of grids crossing over each other. Might be that they varied in thickness. Essentially, this is how they did it, and then they would probably have another one, like a screen in a more green color, like this. Yeah, this looks about right. Yeah, this looks about right. And then another darker one, like a burn. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And then maybe another, like a dodge in a dark green. So even though it's a lot more saturated, which wasn't supposed to happen, this is essentially how you make this effect. I hope I was useful. Bye!